those L's, I couldn't sleep right now. I get paid, vacay, I'm staying B-side. Breaking the blues over steak, I gotta eat right. You could be my peace sign. I don't need that energy around me. I just need sun, you're so cloudy. I wake up good, you're so grouchy. Please get from around me. When the truth don't work, you start telling lies. Thought you were down to ride, you weren't down to ride. Caught switching, you were picking sides. Don't blink, caught slipping like a slip and slide. I was shooting dice till I got a nosebleed. Money on the floor, can't get cold feet. Took a L, should've put it in the offering. Lord, forgive me for my sins, don't know of me. Scary thoughts, I got scary thoughts. Lost control, now I'm taking charge. Breaking bills, friends breaking off. You could be the youngest, I'm the dawn. Kiss the ring, nah. In the scene like GOT. Stay awake, don't sleep.
Y'all something. You ain't got to ever worry about getting nobody back for some shit they done did to you. Cause quiet as it's kept, everybody working get paid. Let me break that down so you understand what I mean. Everybody working getting paid. See, some of you motherfuckers don't even know that you're working. But payday comes after a while, bitch. You being messy, you're working. You gossiping about people, you're working. You stealing, lying, cheating, or just all around doing some fuck shit, you're working. And payday is on its motherfucking way. Ha ha! Let me tell you something, you working motherfuckers. Some of you bitches got overtime in that bitch too. Ooh, that payout gonna be good. So when you get your check, bitch, don't complain. You worked for it.
That's right. Don't complain, you worked for it. Life is a biatch, and her name is Karma. You heard me. Welcome to the Midday Motivated. I'm your host, J&J Video Reacts, aka Dawn. I'm in the Dawn Cave, coming to you live from YouTube Studios. And I hope everybody is having an amazingly awesome day. I got the Karma wheel behind me, as you can see. It's I blur it out for effect, but that is the Karma wheel. And I see I got my lovely wife, Vegan Knowledge JJ. Ro! Hi, baby. How are you? It's been a minute since I've seen your name in that chat. Hopefully you had a good vacay and enjoyed the cruise. And all is well with you and the fam. Joe and Caitlin and your doggies, your fur babies. But welcome. And yeah, Meatless Monday. Listen, sweetie, I didn't get a chance to put the link in the stream, but I will do that as soon as we're done. So I'll go ahead and put the link. Meatless Monday was awesome, Ro. You should have been there. But I'm sure at some point you'll make your way on over there. But we were curious as to how you were doing with that. But so here's the thing. I am going to talk a little bit about karma, and then I will put the link in if anybody wants to come up and voice their opinions on some things, then feel free to do so. But the reason I wanted to make that is because it's true. Okay. And before we really get heavily deep into it, shout out to all the subscribers. We are at 591 and counting. So I appreciate everybody who has subscribed to the J Crew, older subscribers and brand new ones. Yesterday we had Velvy on the show. She was somebody that I met on TikTok, kind of by accident, but on purpose at the same time. I wandered into her live stream yesterday morning and accidentally got myself in her live, but it wasn't an accident. I think it was a Freudian slip, to be honest with you. So, and we had an amazing time, and she came on over here and came on the Midday Motivated. So that was fun. And we started out talking about passive healing, which I'm an advocate of, with the subliminal healing at night when you're sleeping to change your subconscious over. But it veered off into addiction, which she was talking about with her children. A couple of them struggle with it. So, and we said, yeah, nobody's a stranger to that. Everybody in some form has either had somebody, either they've been um, struggling, or they have had a family member or friend who has struggled with addiction. And it comes in all sizes, shapes, forms, cigarettes, it could be from heroin to coffee. Okay. It comes in all forms. So the bottom line is, if you don't have a grip on your mind, which is what these streams are about, your mind will run away with you. And this one is about, see, when you commit actions, obviously those actions have repercussions, and some of them are good based on your actions, and some of them are bad. Now, I know that's a judgment call based on what your belief system is, because nothing is either good or bad, it's just what we think about it. And with karma, as you see in the TikTok there, that TikTok told the whole story. Okay, you don't ever have to worry about getting somebody back that has done something quote unquote bad to you, because what goes around comes around, and it's not just a cliche, it is a real thing. How many times have you seen something happen to someone who has done something to you that maybe you didn't pay them back, but the universe had your back? You saw where the universe had your back. And likewise, in the opposite, when you've done something like a random act of kindness, or you've thought good thoughts, or you've dished out good stuff, things have come back your way that mirror that. And that's what life is. It's an endless series of thoughts, feelings, and actions, human life anyway, that are put out there. And that's what the manifestation process is, honestly. It's just another, there's so many ways to put this stuff, but karma is another way of saying manifestation. Okay, because karma is the actual process of that manifestation. What you put out is what you get back. Okay, I want to make sure I'm staying on top. Vegan Knowledge says Betty White had a glass of wine a day. I can justify. Right? And Rohit said, I'm going backwards, right? Rohit said, the best I could do was vegetarian. On the cruise. I ate mostly mushroom pizza. Wow. Or caprese paninis. Okay, the whole cruise. But the point is, you tried. You were trying to make a conscious effort to kind of keep it clean, keep it PC. But hey, it is, and listen, balance, balance. I was listening to a guy on Jillian Berry this morning, Dr. Morse, and he was even saying, listen, balance, it's nice to be strict on yourself and to do the things that you know are healthy for your mind and your body. But every now and then you dip off, and it's okay. It's all right. We're human beings. We weren't made to be perfect. We weren't made to walk in this perfectness. Our bodies were made perfectly, but we didn't create our bodies. The creator did. The creator is perfect. We, however, are not, even though we are made in the creator's image. There are certain things that we are just as humans incapable of. But with an understanding of karma, you have to understand that when you do stuff, it comes back. It brings things back your way. And the secret talks about that a lot. When you stub your toe out of bed and you say, put that swear word out there, and you change your vibration, and you're now in a frequency of anger and frustration. If you don't put a stop to that right away, that karma is going to perpetuate in your mind, body, spirit, in your day, and in everything that happens to you that day. So if you put it out, be careful, because it's going to come back. All of a sudden, you're going to Dunkin' Donuts and you're not being waited on, or the person behind the counter is snippy and they seem to be angry and just frustrated at the world in general. And you're not sure if they're not spitting in your coffee. You know what I mean? That's because you put that vibe out. That's because you got out of bed, you stubbed your toe, and you were angry, and you didn't shake it off right away. You didn't say, okay, I get why I'm angry, but, and everybody, this is a process. So, I get why I'm angry, but you know what? I'm not going to let this emotion right here that I'm feeling control my day. So let me be grateful that I even got out of bed to begin with. Okay? Because I could have been still laying there and never wake up again. Okay? You know me, I always got to take it there. I could have reached my genetic potential in my sleep and not woken up at all. So I'm up, I'm here, I experienced a toe hit. Woo! Let's move on. All right, cool. What's happening for today? What's on the docket? And get yourself in a spirit where you've experienced the feeling. You were in the moment, you were in the now, because sometimes a little stub of the toe is pretty good because it'll wake your ass up. Okay. Especially if you are daydreaming or not living or appreciating the moment that you have been gifted. And I say gifted because the moment is the present. You have got to be thankful for every moment that you get. Jen and I were talking the other night, and we were talking about how people tend to focus on the negative and focus on, somebody not being here, like if you've lost a loved one. Instead of crying and moaning and constantly grieving, which is understandable. My mom died in 2011. I still miss her. My grandmom died in 2004. I still miss her. I will always miss her, and there's nothing wrong with that. But do I sit every day pining and not getting things done and crying all day because I don't have them physically with me anymore? No, I don't. Because what is that going to do? That's just going to perpetuate with karma nothing that's going to bring me nothing but sadness. More and more and more sadness is what you want? All right, you're putting that out. Let's continuously give you things that make you sad. Yesterday, I was thinking about our cat, Tux. Oh, by the way, Jen, Neo. I want another black and white, and its name is Neo. I've already named it. So we kind of share a name because Dawn means the same thing. It's like new beginnings. So Neo, who we all know from the Matrix, Neo means new. So Neo is the new cat's name, the new black and white. It's going to be the new Tux. Nia Tux. No, no. That's too long, drawn out. Neo is cool. I think Neo's a cool name for a cat. And it fits for a girl cat or a boy cat. Doesn't matter. Just like Tux did. But yeah. I started thinking about Tux. And the next thing I know, like this morning, I was in such a great mood and I had my little affirmations going. And hey, today is going to be a great day. It already is a great day. I'm going to make the most of every moment. And next thing I know, I start thinking about, why did I start thinking about Tux? See, I can't even explain it. It was my pain body. I'm blaming it on my pain body because why in a good moment and I'm present and the sun rose and it was beautiful and wow, this is it's an amazing morning. My mind reached for something to depress me. I was too happy. I was in too high of a frequency, too high of a vibration. Don't forget, your mind with you. It wants you to stay in a certain frequency because it wants you to always be prepared for the worst. But what if the worst isn't happening? Okay. And again, like I said before, you have wasted that time preparing for something that didn't happen instead of enjoying what actually is happening. Okay. The beautiful sunrise. All of a sudden, I started thinking, you know, how did she get cancer? Like, how did that happen? You know what I mean? And I started tracing back things that I remember seeing in her differences that I didn't put two and two together that she might have been sick, like severely sick. I'm going to welcome my beautiful wife, Vegan Knowledge. Hi, honey. Okay. Is that how you feel about it? um, and I caught myself. You have to be the observer of your mind and the observer of your thoughts. You can't be so caught up in your mind.
Oh,
You
hi.
have, hey,
I
hey,
might help if I remove the mute.
yep. And I was just saying, you can't be so caught up in your mind that you can't get into, like, get out of your head. I had to stop myself and say, hey, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you thinking about Tux? Remember that when I looked up that I found out aloe vera was poisonous to cats.
Mhm.
And the fact that Tux had some type of skin thing going on a few years back, and I rubbed a little aloe vera on her back, and it was gone. I'm like, wow, it works for cats too. I didn't look it up. And she would be trying to get back there and lick it. And I would try to always be careful to put it to a point where she couldn't lick it, but I'm sure she probably did. Well, I had done that for a little while, and I started thinking, did I kill my cat? That is something that will really seriously mind frick you,
Mhm.
because I started thinking, speaking of karma, did I inadvertently kill Tux? And I started thinking, you know what? Nope, don't go there, because
Yeah.
why would you be thinking that? And especially in this moment with this beautiful sunrise, it just goes to show how, when you start feeling all these feelings of guilt and grief and whatever that is a negative emotion, you bring that karma to you, and
Yeah.
you constantly bring things back to you that you are thinking and feeling. I had to cut myself off in that moment. As much
Yeah.
as I want to think about Tux, I had to cut myself off because I was having negative feelings. What is that going to do? Is that going to bring her back? No, it's
Yeah.
not.
And
So I had
I
to let that go and
mhm.
change my thought and observe what I was doing and get back in the moment.
That is, and it's great that you were able to pull yourself out of it and do that, you know what I mean? Because I think
Almost
that's
immediately when I recognized it. Yeah.
getting close to that Neo where
Um,
it's not getting in,
you like
right?
that?
Well, I came to you with that same issue the other day, which might have popped her into your mind too, because I was scrolling looking for those pictures and I saw the
Yeah.
one when she was sick. And I think with what my issue is with it is I'm used to being able to fix everything.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be able to control it, and that was something that I could not fix for her, and I don't think it's anything that either of us, could have prevented or did, or I don't think that aloe would cause that, you know what I mean? I
Yeah.
thought, well, what if I had, maybe changed her diet, or you know what I mean? Did she not have the proper, gum health or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'll
Dude,
do
I
a
started
thousand
thinking
things.
about the
I'm like,
day. I started thinking about the day I came in here and all that hair was off her tail. Remember that?
mhm.
And cancer patients have experienced hair loss. Then the 40 piles of throw up in the kitchen a few months after that. We got clues that something was wrong. And I guess we didn't act on them soon enough. But if you sit there and let that beat you down,
Yeah, it's
you
like,
know,
what can we do? We have to move forward, like you said,
got
and we
to.
can't harp on that. And that's a lot of that that part you were talking about is so resonates with me because almost every day I have a moment like that where I wake up and it's like, wow, I'm so thankful I'm in that little zone where I'm at. And I
Yeah.
come to you sometimes and I'll say, I just saw this online. Why am I self like the day was going perfectly? It's like my mind is reaching for something like you're too darn happy. You are in too much of a good zone. Things are going well. Something's going to go wrong. You know it.
Yeah.
This is when things go wrong. And your brain starts telling you that. And then you see little signs. Like this morning, I invited someone that I invited to the stream last night. They wrote a message and said, I'm at the hospital with my mom. She has issue with her hip. So of course my brain automatically goes to, geez, I hope my mom's okay because she has issues with her foot. I hope nothing happens to her hip. Let me, and all of a sudden I start going down this road. Why did I see that? It's the holiday, is something getting ready to, and it was like I had to take my brain and stop myself and be like,
Yeah.
feel it. You do worry about your mom. You know that,
Nothing
just like
wrong
I
with
did
it.
with Tux the other day, started getting that feeling of, like, well, I should have been able to do something. Why did this happen? All of this came to me like, and the whole thing about, oh, now our other cat is getting old. So I'm worried that something's going to happen to her. I need to spend more time. And it just takes you down this whole weird vibe. But
Rabbit hole.
it's like I was on this completely positive zone. Why can't our brains just stay there? But the faster we can get back to that, but we
Yeah.
have to, like you said, we have to feel it first. You had to feel that sadness, that, wonder of what could have, happened or whatever for a second and then get yourself out of it. Like, you know
Yeah.
what? Hey, this is what it is. Something we're now living in the past. We can only now, and I told you
Because
what
you
I
know
did was
what?
looked at
Feeling the
those.
sadness brings you in the moment,
Yeah.
but then you also have the power in the moment to now change that to gratitude.
Yes.
She's no longer in pain,
Yes.
and I got to spend a few minutes with her before she died, which was she knew she was loved and going to be missed. I
Yeah.
literally had that conversation with her 5 minutes before she passed on. So it's like, and I feel like she understood it because literally she died right after that, you
Yeah.
know? So it's like,
Definitely. There's a special relationship there, a special bond,
yeah.
and then
And I'll
moving
have it with
into
the
the
next one.
memories, and I just started to look back at pictures of her when she was healthy, when she was a little, fat cat sitting on the couch. I showed you those pictures, and sometimes
Yeah.
that's a way to go back and just like with people, like you said, you have to enjoy them while they're here.
Yeah.
And enjoy the
Yeah.
memories you had with them. And as hard as it is sometimes, it's not doing us any good for the people that we're around right now or to our creativity, to our life in general, to our
It's
health.
like, hello, what am I, chopped liver? I'm
Y-
still here. Can I get a
Right.
hug? Can I get some I love yous? Can I get thankful that you're here with me now? You know what I mean? We have a whole nother cat. Hey, hello, meow. Can I get some pets? I'm still
Yeah.
here. I need to
Right.
eat. I need to drink. I need to play. I'm a
And
cat too. I'm still here. So,
right. So
you
it's
know, get in the
definitely like
moment
get in the moment. That is like the phrase of the, and being
of
in
the
the moment,
millennium.
doing what you do right now, you know, knowing that we can't change what has happened already and what could happen in the future, but we can change our now, which is ultimately our future.
That's very powerful. Every now is your future. Every now that you're in, hopefully you are doing something that is creating the karma that you want. Whatever you want in your life, you can create that simply by the actions that you're doing right now. And your actions are going to come from how you feel. And how do you feel? It's going to come from what you're thinking. So you got to learn how to keep your mind focused on the present task at hand. Got to learn how to keep your mind focused in the moment, because when you don't do that, you miss precious things that can change the course of your whole life. You know what I mean? And that's huge. Um, Ro is down in the comments.
Okay, I haven't seen a comment since I've been here. Oh, let me go on YouTube. It might help so I can read them. Usually they pop up over here on the right for me.
That's
Um,
where I believe the strawberries
oh,
is.
okay. I'll read that one for you if you want. Basically, she was saying strawberries were everywhere on the cruise she was on. She ended up getting
She's
strep throat.
allergic. Yeah.
But the strawberries caused her allergies to go nuts, and she was sick by day 3. But before that, I don't think you saw that when she said, I was sick as a dog after the cruise. She had strep throat after the cruise. Um, and she said vegan and cruising do not go together. She was saying the strawberries had her allergies going nuts. And then she said the best, oh, we read that one. And she said she loves mushrooms. I'm having mushroom loaf from Whole Foods tomorrow. Oh, that sounds so good. She said between the strawberries not being vegan screwed up my immune system, and it's the reason I got so sick. I've been eating vegan soup for a week, and my energy level is so high for being sick as a dog. Oh, that's good. I'm glad you're getting your energy, and we
Yeah.
definitely hope you start feeling better. Gee, she had
Yes.
sinus infection, ear infection, tonsillitis, strep throat, and a ruptured eardrum, but the house is spotless. So you're productive. Look, I put earlier germs and cruises don't mix. I'll cruise on in here by my computer.
Wow. Well, I'm sorry to hear that, baby girl, but I'm glad you're here and you're getting back
Yes.
to health and you're
We were
eating
worried about you.
vegan. Yeah. And
I
you're
was like,
eating
something's
vegan.
up.
So thank God that you put the time in that you did before the cruise. Imagine that if you hadn't, where you would have been. So you put some good time in before the cruise. And the funny thing is, you just mentioned mushrooms. I literally just had a snack of some leftover spaghetti, which I made with mushrooms. I had a mushroom sauce, and It was a ton of mushrooms in it in the ragu, and it was so good. And I literally just got finished eating some mushrooms and spaghetti. So,
Speaking
wow,
of
that's
being hooked and addicted, I am addicted to Dawn's spaghetti sauce. I don't know what you're putting in that. I think it's the sugar, but it's got me hooked on it. And the mushrooms, it was funny because when I was talking with her in the chat, I said, "We're on mushrooms right now." And I meant, "Oh, that didn't sound right. I meant we're on like
shrooms.
a mushroom kick right now with recipes." So she was talking about mushrooms. Um, and it's like it's good to hear that that you notice that even the healthy foods are getting you like to feel better. So I'm glad you'll be coming around, and definitely you were missed on both of the streams, all three of them.
We did a thanks vegans Christmas where we had, I don't know if you know, on TikTok there's a woman on there called the Edgy Vegan, and she's got this little video where she makes a turkey out of jackfruit. And what was the skin, Jen? What did she say she used?
Um
Rice paper, I think,
yeah,
for
rice
the
paper.
skin. And I mean, she legit had this thing looking like a turkey. She had it all set up with the little legs and everything.
She
And
used like, what did she get? Like some kind of thing she used for the bones of it. It was kind of weird. It was
she had
like,
like wooden
yeah,
pieces for the
wooden
bones.
pieces. That
I'm
was
like, yeah, don't bite
crazy.
into that chick turkey leg, right?
You were talking about karma, and it reminds me of karma, like, can be like things might what you project comes back to you, like the we always talk about the algorithm,
Yeah,
like how, like you said, what you're putting off, it tends to come back to you. Sometimes it's fast, and then karma, what most people think of is, oh, it's something's going to get back at you, like something bad happening. Karma is also good. It's good
yeah,
karma. It's good vibes, what you put out into the world. If you have an attitude of gratitude, like you said, somebody will do something for you. At the same time that, it could be instant and it could be a later time, but as little as, like you said, going in there and trying to order your coffee, you go
yeah,
in with an attitude, the person might somehow, it's that universal energy, all of a sudden it's either how you're taking it or how they're taking your vibe. They might start doing something else, and then you're going to jump to saying, okay, now they're ignoring me, first this, now this, and
or
you just
because
go
you're
down that route.
nasty, you're in a nasty irritable
Yeah.
zone, that person is giving that back to you as well. But you know what I love? I love it when you're in a zone where you feel irritable and you're kind of nasty, and someone on the other end is overpowering it. And
That's
they are,
coffee beating.
yeah, they are so powerful in their demeanor and everything that it switches you around. And
Exactly.
when that happens to me, when I can get in my little shitty mood or whatever, and I'm finding myself being quiet, and somebody comes out and says something or does something, I acknowledge. I'm like, you know what? I was in the
Mhm.
zone, and you just straight pulled me out of it. Thank you.
That's why
You
it's good
know?
when we're in those zones, we have to project that so that
Yeah,
other people can get that back in their, can get in their good zone. I feel like that's that whole thing that we talked about, like the boiling water.
yeah,
You can be boiling water, and then somebody could be boiling and you could be in a good zone, and that boiling water could just consume you up and you could get in their zone. But if you keep in your positive zone, all of a
yeah,
sudden you are that, like, the thing we always say that changes the boiling water to coffee, right? Like, it's
yeah,
just, I see you a lot of times do that on here because everybody might be coming in with different things that their day started off with, and they come on here and they hear your positive and your motivation, and you are literally projecting that aura out to so many people that are going to listen to this stream, not only now but going into, maybe years, months, decades, whatever you want to say, to come, because
yeah,
it's on social media. That's what I love about it. When you want to be in a positive zone, or you feel like you're having one of those moments, or when I'm having a moment, I can reflect back on this conversation and even pull it up and listen to it, and like, Jen, see, you had your head together then. You were in a
yeah.
good zone, because sometimes it's easier when we're on here talking about it,
Oh,
like
I've
when
done
I'm
it.
in the
I've done it.
therapy.
I've reverted back to some of the streams. I'm like, wait a minute, what did we say? Because right now I need it, and I have literally gone back and pulled some of these streams up and listened to a couple of things. So it's like, wow, the fact that we put it out there and we use it ourselves, use ourselves on ourselves. It's like You want to be my worst enemy? You're also my best friend too.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use that. I'm going to use that. You are your worst enemy, but you can also be your own best friend. And it's important that you spend time alone and get to know yourself and be in a zone where you can be alone and be okay. Because you never know when you're going to come into a situation where you don't have a choice.
Mhm.
So if you get okay with being alone and getting okay with your thoughts and learning how to change your thoughts into what you want for your life, you'll be a happy camper. And the more you do it, the better you'll get at it.
Right. And I was just thinking too that how do I put it? Like, I feel like I was in a better situation, like we always talk about. Like, I've had moments where days and months went by where I didn't have a negative feeling, maybe here and there, but not this.
Hmm.
It's like the more of a good vibe that my life gets on,
Constant beating.
that's like those trying to get in, because like when everything's going right, like life is going well, the older you get, I feel like your pain body gets more and more like active, like, you know what I mean?
You know why? Because you're coming closer to that day, baby.
Right. It could be, but
And it
think
knows
about it.
that.
Like when you were in, like, let's go reflect back. Let's say we're in our 20s, and maybe some people weren't like this, but in my 20s, if I was going along having a good day, it wasn't like all of a sudden I'd see something online and self-identify with it and like, oh my goodness, start worrying. It would just breeze right over me. Like, it would just not even touch me. That's the point that
I
we
feel
have
like
to get
because you
back
were in the
to.
summer.
It's
You were in the
Neo.
summer of your life. You were in the summer of your life. You were, or in the winter. Let's put it this way. Like the sun represents, all the negativity. Even though I don't feel that way, the sun is like amazing. But for the purposes of this conversation, the closer you are to it, the more you fear it, and the more you fear it, the more your ideals and everything that happens takes on a different meaning for you.
Hmm.
And it's like, wow, why do I feel that way about this? That didn't used to bother me. Yeah, because the furthest thing from you were young. You didn't have so much shit that has happened, so much stuff that you heard or saw or experienced didn't happen yet.
Yeah.
Not to mention that you're very young, so you feel fantastic, and you don't think about death as much. You never think about it really,
Hmm.
and so you're on a trajectory where you're just living life,
Yeah.
and it's so easy to be in the moment because everything's new, so you're experiencing a lot of things for the first time, so it's very easy to stay in that high frequency, in that high zone. You're equipped for it. But as you move through life and things start to happen and you start to realize and get your eyes open to some of the shitty things that are in the world and in life, and actual shitty things happen within your life, then that starts to, it's like a hammer and a nail that is going deeper into that piece of wood, and it's going down, 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 and its life is just hammering on you, and you're that nail going down, 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 and then finally you're completely submerged in that block of wood, and all you can see is the head that's on the top. You are completely submerged.
Hmm.
Life has beat you down that much. But there's always the other end of the hammer. You can always pull that nail right back out of the wood, and you can pull yourself out of the depths of depression. You can pull yourself out of the depths of negativity, and you can turn it around, but no one can do that for you.
Yeah.
You have to do it. You have to be the one to put your foot down and say, you know what? No, I'm not going to let this beat me. I am going to have a good day, damn it.
Hmm.
I'm going to be in the moment and I'm going to enjoy this day. Why? Because I have a freaking choice.
Because
I have
it
a
is a
choice.
good day. That's the
Yeah.
best part
I
about
don't
it.
have to
In this
feel that
moment,
way.
everything is great, everything is good. If you find that in that moment you're not dealing with something that is a huge real problem, then you are reflecting in your past or you're reflecting in your future, and I'm kind of yelling it to
Yeah.
myself. Like you're wondering, oh, I
Yeah.
hope this doesn't happen, or I wonder if I had done something differently, if that would have happened, or if you know what I mean? It's like we're always
Yeah.
reflecting or deflecting
Or
or
projecting.
projecting. It's like
Or
we need to get in
projecting.
the ing. of the now.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We need to stay in the present. You
And
know what I mean? Instead of looking forward to something that may or may not happen. And look, everything that has happened that we did that with, we're here,
yeah,
right? We're here and we're alive. We have things, we have each other, and we got through it. Whatever, I don't even remember half the shit,
right.
you know? So that's how powerful that is. It's not. It has no power except for
When you
what
give it.
we give it,
Yeah.
you know?
Because I used to say
So
this phrase to you all the time. Everything is the same as it was yesterday. Remember that? Like
I
when
know,
something
I
would come
do.
up and we'd get like in a little, quandary about
Tizzy.
it, like, oh, maybe something happened with the business or, whatever. It was like, you know what? But right now in this moment, everything's exactly the same as it was yesterday. All we got to do is just stop thinking about that, set a plan to move forward. Like, how the hell did
Hmm.
I have things so figured out 10 years ago? And that I'm now reflecting back to understanding myself then and like, hey, remember you you know what I'm saying? It's like before
I
you hit
do.
menopause, you could help somebody in your situation. What the hell's wrong with you? I don't even cuss, but I just had a revelation.
But it is that's what karma will do, you know what I mean? It's like you have to keep yourself afloat any way possible that you can. And I know you do it with work a lot because you pride yourself on being a good representation of what you're doing over there. And that gets you out of your head sometimes to deal with what you're dealing with at work.
I definitely feel
And
like even in an environment like where you're working with other people, you receive what you give and you treat people like you want to be treated. It's cliche, but I really do, if you give people respect, they will respect you.
it is karma. It's true.
Mm.
It's like what you give out, you're gonna get back,
People, if
you
you look at
know?
the positives in other people, then those
Yeah,
positives come out. If you always just look at
right.
the negative in someone, then they're not going to give you more of that positive. They're going to give you more of the negative. You can
Absolutely.
always self-reflect on negative. That's what I always tell you too. You always are striving to be better, and sometimes I have to remind you to stop and think about all the good that you're doing, and that you've done for yourself when you're like, oh, I want to get to this next level of eating like this, or I want to do this many streams, or I want to make sure
Yeah.
I plan it and have this done, and I want to be on this come like, but look at how far you've come and look at what you've done just in this little bit of time that you've been on the earth. So give yourself some grace as well.
Thank you, sweetie. I appreciate that. And you as well. You as well. And
Rose.
Rose down there in
Oh,
the
we
comments,
both were about to read at the same time. Go ahead. You want me to do it or you got it?
she's yeah, if you want to do it, it'll probably be a little quicker.
Even when I'm in a shitty mood, she said, I screw in my smile and I'm nice to those around me and it helps bring me out of my mood. Fake it till you make it. That's a good one.
That's it.
Yes, definitely.
That's
Get
it.
out of your own head sometimes. It helps to, just dig in.
Well, and you know what you're doing. You're actually you're changing your frequency when you do that. And I love it how she said she screws in her smile. It's like, okay, I don't really feel like doing this right now, but I'm going to put it on
Mhm.
and I'm going to make sure that I project this because this is what I want to get back. I don't feel like getting what I'm maybe ready to be putting out right now. So I'm just going to go ahead and get through this situation. And before you know it, you have changed your frequency and things happening around you actually start to support actually really making you feel that way.
You know,
So yeah,
you think a lot, you
that's
talk a
huge.
lot about the Matrix and Neo, and is I had someone say to me the other day, at work, I was helping them, and they're like, "You don't ever get mad, do you? Like, you don't get upset." And I've never heard you get upset or even sound the least bit frustrated. And I feel like in that realm of my life, I do have sort of a shield that's around me. Like when you talk about not letting anger and things in, like my brain automatically, instead of going to a negative, sometimes it does. You know what I mean? I do get like upset or my feelings hurt or things like that sometimes, but almost immediately, it switches to let me just reflect on what that person could have meant by that, or let me see where they're coming from, and how I might be taking that the wrong way. And like all of a sudden, or they may just not have known, you know what I mean? All of a sudden it puts a shield around me where I don't have to feel that anger or negativity, and I feel like in that same respect, if I could get to that point with that, those thoughts of worry and things like that, that I could, that I could really
You could
get
help
to a better
yourself so
place if I
much.
could analogize that to that, but like the
You
stuff.
know, your empathy is one of the things that I love so much about you, because even in moments where it would be hard to do that, you manage to pull that out. And that's because that's what's in your core. And it's so funny because we were listening to the stream the other day where the girl was like, I don't like Capricorns. Capricorns tend to show off and they're kind of narcissistic. And it's like, okay, I've been married to a Capricorn for a few years now, and I've been with this person for like 13, 14 years. And
Longer than a
I don't,
few.
yeah, I don't get that. So, you can't just label a book by its cover. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? It's like just because she's a kid, you don't exude any of that. So it's like, you know, I love that about you. That's amazing that you can do that. And more, if the think about if the more people in the world were like that. You know what I mean? It's like this world, we probably wouldn't have atomic bombs and things like that, wouldn't be hurting each other because we'd be more empathetic to what the other person is feeling and we'd be getting along. It'd be kumbaya, you know?
Mhm.
So yeah, that's
Well,
huge.
it
That is
definitely
powerful.
helps to have someone like, someone like you, because you guys can hear even for like this hour, 2 hours a day of the calmness and the spirit that you exude, and the way that you stay on a positive zone. And I see all the things that you've dealt with, and the fact that you can be on a positive zone and keep your frequency like that and help us all adjust it is so
It's a
such a
struggle.
blessing.
It's a struggle.
But that's
Believe.
why I can,
Trust and
like,
believe.
identify and listen to you, because I've watched you pull yourself out
Yeah.
of it. So
Yeah.
those techniques are even more important than someone
I do.
who
I see the angry side of her when she gets frustrated. And I told her the other day, the only time you ever do get mad is road rage. She didn't used to even be like that with the road. But after 10
if they don't make
years
a right on red, it
of
gets on my
delivering food, yeah, it's like, okay,
or if
yeah, after
someone
a
beeps
while,
their horn before I have time to get my foot
that is
from the
such a
brake
trigger. That
to
is
the
such a
gas.
trigger for her.
Give me 1 second. Like, I mean, the light just changed. I'm a slow mover, okay? I live at the beach.
Oh my God. I
I
remember that one time we were like, I always joked with her about it. It was years ago. She's like, we're talking and she's moving through the traffic and, something, yeah, yeah. I just want to get up the fucking street. Jesus. And I was cracking up because she never says the F word, first of all. So when I heard that coming, that was like the first time you ever like really freaked
really
out like
cuss.
that on the road.
It's
Yeah,
probably the only
that was the
time I've
beginning.
ever even said it in the right zone like
I
that,
just
not
want to
inside
get
of
up
a
the
joke. Well,
fucking
it was like because we always had people's food in the car, and people are hangry. So, like, if
street.
I was already late and I knew this lady was going to give me a hard time and start ringing the phone off
Yeah,
the hook,
yeah.
like, and try to get a free, free meal,
And at
I
that
was
time,
like,
we
we
owned the
didn't have
company, so
money.
we were paying for it or
I
eating
was
that
like, just
lunch.
move,
Yeah.
like, so it was funny. But yeah, I think that's the first time I had, a lot of frustration on the road. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
Mhm.
It
And it
was
built
funny.
up over time, but yeah, I tell you what, it it it's something that you got to take day by day. And we're all works in progress and we're all going to remain works in progress. There's nobody that's ever going to be perfect. But as long as we take positive steps and do things like this every day and stay consistent with it, it'll continue to help us and help others in the process.
Definitely. I had something I thought about when you were just talking about being on the road
What?
that I wanted to share.
What?
You ever been behind somebody and they keep like putting their brakes on, or they're driving like way under the speed limit and you can't get around them, and you automatically, I've seen Um,
I
like even within
think I know where you're
myself,
going.
every now and then this used to happen. Then I realized one day, dude, this has nothing to do with me. Because I got up next to the person, and it was this little old lady that could barely see over the steering wheel that was trying to look at her phone, look like a or a
Right.
GPS, and she was like just lost. And in that heat of that moment, when I was late for the delivery, I'm like, okay, this person, because they see the sign on top of the car, probably is trying to slow me down. They think I'm trying to be Miss Speedy
Yeah.
Gonzalez.
And when
They're
you
going
saw it
really
was grandma,
I
you
was like,
came
that
down
is a
off of
perfect
all of that.
thing of empathy because it's not always that it's somebody's trying to do something to you. Things are
Yeah.
done in this world that have nothing to do with you. Policies are made, let's say, that
Yep.
people might, be doing something. The lady at the store is not purposely slowing down, ringing up the person in front of you. She might just be having an off day and can't move as quick. Maybe something's going
Yeah.
on. Maybe she's sick. It's not all about you, and the world immediately we take things as a way to say, you know what, this is being done to me, and we forget that there's a whole world out there and everybody has
They've
things
got their
going
own
on.
shit that they're dealing with. I
Yeah,
used
it
to be a
probably
big
has
person that
nothing
did
to
that.
do with you,
Remember me with the conspiracy thing? I used to always do that. You know what? I think that blah, 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 blah. And
Mhm.
it's like I would do that, and I was never one to pull the race card because I wasn't raised like that. But it
Mhm.
would be other things. It would be like, if somebody said something this way or that way, and I'm like, you know what? I bet if such and such were here, they wouldn't have said that. Or why did that happen like that? This person knows that I'm trying to go over. That person didn't know nothing.
Right.
They didn't know. They don't know me. You know what I mean? They're dealing with their own shit.
Exactly.
So it's like
Right.
it took me years to get off of that because I didn't used to be like that. But then when I was at the point where you're at, I would go through a lot of those thought processes. And I'm like, okay, first of all, this person doesn't even know what's going on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And you're being ridiculous. That's you in your head trying to hang on to some anger for what? I don't know.
And
So,
sometimes it's because we don't wanna put any blame on ourself. We always wanna
oh
project it
God,
on
we are
others, you
so
know?
guilty of that.
We can't
Yes.
say, "Oh, you know what? Yeah, maybe I should have left 5 minutes earlier so that, maybe the lady it wouldn't have mattered if she slowed me down. Maybe my
Her cutting
computer is
me
not
off.
trying to,
If I
ruin
was
me
5
here
minutes
doing an
earlier,
update."
I
Right.
wouldn't have been there to be cut off.
Right, right.
you know?
And like just things that like, oh, maybe I could have done this if this person hadn't done this. No, if it's all about what you do, you can make so many things happen. Like we forget that we're in control, whether it comes to how we work, how we play, how we play our things out in our mind, like you said, and we're in control of
Absolutely.
what we eat, so we're in control of our body more than we think, we're in control of our mind more than we think, and we have to, like you always, like yesterday's was, put the right stuff in your mind. And it's like sometimes you literally have to talk to yourself,
Yeah.
I'm
Like
finding.
not sometimes, most of the time. And if you don't feel comfortable doing it out loud, hell, do it in your own mind. You're in there anyway.
We're always doing it in
You
our
might as
mind
well be
anyway.
saying good
Good
shit. You
stuff,
know what I
right?
mean? And
That is good.
acknowledging your mind and giving your mind some grace. Okay, yeah, I understand you want to go there, but that's not going to happen. We are in the moment, and right now everything is fine. And I know as long as we stay on this trajectory, everything will continue to be fine. The universe will make a way to work out whatever this is that's happening. And trust in that and believe in that. And before you know it, things come around that actually help you do that, you know?
Wow, that what you just said is so powerful when you said trust. You know,
You have to. You
you
have
have
to trust and
to
believe.
trust, and that is one of the biggest things that I think we all struggle with is trusting that things will work out if we continue to stay in the now. You know what I mean? That we can get through
Absolutely.
anything. We have to trust ourselves, and
Yeah.
trust that we're more powerful than we think. What would be like, I know that you talk about them all the time. What would be your top things to ensure that your karma is stays good? Like, do you feel like
First
starting
off,
out with the
first off is thoughts. Be an observer of what it is that you're thinking. And the way that you can do that is just monitor how you feel. How do I feel in this moment? And it's like, if you feel like there's something that you should be doing or could be doing, well, take a minute and think about what that is, you
Mhm.
know. But at the same time, just make sure you monitor and be the observer. Don't let yourself get so swept up into your thoughts. It's just like the thing with Tux earlier. I'm like, wait a minute. Wow, I was okay. And then my mind, I stepped back and literally watched what happened there.
Uh-huh.
And it's like Eckhart Tolle says, it's like, whoa, did you see what you just did? You were thinking good and you were feeling good, and your mind went to a negative place. It like reached for something negative. You see how you just did that? Yeah,
Mhm.
why are you doing that? That's something that's in the past that's already happened. She's moved on, she's fine, she's in another realm. Let's go back to, hey, that sun is beautiful. I'm glad to be 6 feet above the ground. You know, I mean, it's like, why did I do that? Okay, I understand you want me to be protected in case, something happens to menu. I get it. But right now, everything's all good. So I prefer, because I was listening to The Power of Positive Thinking one day, and the one guy, Norman Vincent Peale, there was, I forget the gentleman in it, but he said that this guy wakes up every day and he says, why do you seem like you're happy all the time and always in good spirits? And he said, well, it's really nothing special. It's not a secret. It's really simple. I have a choice. Either I'm going to be happy or I'm going to feel like crap. Well, I think I'll feel good. I'll take good, please. You know
Yeah.
what? You've got a choice. You are the person who makes you feel the way you feel. Nobody else has that power, even though you think you do. You are fooling yourself. Because she said this, I feel this way. Think, really think about that. Because she said, she is over there, she is her own person.
Mhm.
Because she did this, I feel this way. Well,
Right.
first of all, you are two totally separate people. How can what she says make you feel any kind of way? The only way it makes you feel some kind of way is that you took it in through your mind, and your mind made a judgment around it and made you feel some kind of way around it. But either way, stop and think what I want to say. You took it in, you processed it, you feel this way. You're still in control. She's not. So who gives
Mhm.
a shit what she says or how she says it? Okay?
Exactly.
You're the one processing it that way. I don't care if she screams at the top. I watched my grandmother master this woman in a clothing store one night, and I never forgot it. And this woman was pissed because my grandmother walked in there late. We walked in there late. It was like Hosho Cones, downtown Baltimore.
I remember that.
Yeah, more. I couldn't have been no more than 5 or 6, but I watched this, and this woman was pissed because Grandma was in there and wanted to pick up a couple of things, and she was running late, and she grabbed them and went to the counter. The woman's like, "We're closing," and my grandma was like, "Okay, I apologize. I get that. I'm gonna take these." No, you're not. Go put them back. We're not ringing that up. He's like, no, yeah, I'm gonna get. She kept a smile on her face. Yeah, I'm gonna get these. No, you're not getting it. Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. No, you're not getting those. Yes, I am. Yeah, I'm gonna get these. And before I knew it, the woman, in a huff and a haste, rang up her clothing. She could not get my grandmother to engage in that zone that she was in. My grandmother just kept her demeanor and said, "Yeah, I'm going to purchase these clothing items, please," and kept it cordial, kept a smile. I'm like, "What?" I just remember standing there like, because
You
I was
watched
waiting for
her
the
put
woman to
that
try to
aura off.
hit her or something, and I'm like, and I remember watching that. That's what you got to do. She did not let that woman in. And ultimately, what happened? She walked away with the damn clothes. She got what she wanted and didn't change her karma one bit because she didn't
That
put
is
nasty back.
That is definitely a learning experience right
It
there.
is.
And, I find it, like if you do go in somewhere late, here's something I've started doing too is all of a sudden start out empathizing before they even have a chance to get that angry with you. Like if you know you're running late, I've worked in retail before. One of my things is I didn't like that they would lock people out 10 minutes before the end. I get it now because, you had to clean up and get everything done. But I'm like, if you close at 9. I should be able to come in the door till 9 because I might be running late. So, but
Yeah.
when you go in, you don't have to be rude about it because we've all worked somewhere and we can say, hey, and don't go in there and just walk around and browse either. But you can say to the person, hey, I know it's running late. I know you probably want to get out of here. I just need to grab something. And that immediately will change that whole person's, instead of acting entitled, like your grandmother
That's
kept it
right. I'm walking
positive.
here at nine
She
o'clock.
smiled and she said, I know it's late. You know what I mean? She
Yeah.
didn't give her, like, yell back at her and say, well, it's your job to ring me up. That could have created, that
Right.
lady wasn't going to
Right.
do what she wanted. That's a good
That would have
example
for
of
sure gotten
karma.
her kicked out of the store. She wouldn't have got what she wanted, and the woman would have won, basically.
And
You
also
know.
felt probably terrible about the whole situation. So she changed her karma. The lady did what she had to do, like it or not, but she knew she did her job, and she's not going to get a complaint from somebody tomorrow,
Yeah.
and your grandmother got the stuff that she wanted. At
Keep
first, I
your
didn't
power.
even get to meet your grandmother, but I was getting very angry at the lady when you said she was being mean to your grandmother because you told me what a sweetheart she is.
You were getting angry. What
Yeah,
was my
sure.
6-year-old ass gonna do? Nothing.
Right.
But
But you
I
were feeling it.
didn't. Yeah, I didn't like seeing somebody talk to my grandmother like that. But I saw her handle it, and I saw what
Mhm.
she did, and she taught me, whether she realized she was teaching me or not in that moment, how to handle somebody like that. Now, whether I grew up and did it exactly like her, hey, she's her and I'm me. But I learned a lot from it. And yeah, there are times when I am able to pull that memory up and use it effectively, you know. And so I will always be indebted to my grandma for that. I love you, grandma. And it's so funny because after I talked about that story, it was like I could feel my head just like kind of vibrating and just
Mhm.
feeling like my aura just vibrating. And I'm like, she's here with me. I talked her
Yes,
spirit up. I talked her spirit up, and I'm feeling that she's most likely saying, I'm glad you got that from that. I hear
and
you
proud of
talk
you.
about that a lot, and I'm proud, and I'm glad you took that and saw that. So they never really leave us, guys. They never really leave us. They're just transformed energy. Okay.
Mhm.
She's still here. She's just not here in physical form.
And
You
it's so
know?
powerful how you treat other people and how you put your, like, think about that. You were how young, and now when you're
Yeah.
around young people, you really have to watch how you handle situations because they are learning these morsels that you,
Yes.
what, 50, 20, 30, no matter how old you are, you still carry that with you, whether you can do it better now that you may have, understand it more
Yeah,
in your own realm.
I'm right around the age she was then, and I
Mhm.
find it a lot easier to be that way now than I
So
did, when I was like 30 or whatever.
the first thing that you said, when I asked you for your advice, the one thing I think you said was to self identify that, first of all, identify that your pain body is trying to get in.
Observe
I
it.
heard
Yeah.
you say that, observe it so that you can understand what's happening, so that we know that we are different than our mind, you know, and that is so powerful because it can, like you said, it can help or it can hurt us. So the
Yeah.
fact that you had to bring that, first say, "Oh, that's my pain body trying to get in," like your grandmother probably identified in that moment,
Keep on
okay,
knocking,
this
but you
lady's
can't
got an
come in.
attitude. I'm going to
Yeah.
have to really, I'm going to have to do this differently. I'm going to have to just keep projecting who I am. And she projected that aura, and what you did the same thing with your own self then this morning by getting yourself back into that positive frequency. But you can't ignore it, like, because that's how the thoughts get in there and fester.
That's how they stay. You have to be able to cleanse them, and the only way to cleanse them is to actually feel them, because then they lose their authenticity, then they lose their power. Once you feel the feeling, recognize that you're feeling that feeling, recognize that whatever you're feeling is in that moment, and then move on to the next moment. It's like, don't stay in it, don't fester in it. You take a bath, you don't stay there until you shrivel up into a prune. You take a bath, you lay there, you soak, then you wash your ass and you get clean, you get the hell out of there. So experience the bath and then get out. Experience the feeling and then move on. Because there's nothing in this moment that you can do about it. Tux is already gone. There's nothing I can do about Neo because Neo isn't here yet. So I can have
And
the thought and say, hey, great, I transferred that to a new cat, which isn't here yet. So I got plans for the future for that. But in this moment, I'm feeling okay because I dealt with it. And now I'm back in the moment of, hey, I'm here. Tux is on the other side. We have menu. I have my bed. Everything's all good.
that is that is just amazing to watch you go through that progression in your mind, because that will help no matter what situation tries to come in. Using
Yeah.
that same method will, will
It's a process and it works with everything. Like Marcus Lemonis. I used to love watching The Prophet because he had his process. I didn't care what. I was like, what? This guy's a financial guy. How's he going to go in a bagel store and think he's going to help them fix their bill? He didn't know nothing about bagels. It didn't matter. He went
Mhm.
in and he fixed a bagel shop. He went in and he fixed a mechanic shop. He went in and fixed a flower shop. It was a process. It was a set of habits that he had developed that worked no matter where he was,
That had
no matter
success
what
no matter
business.
where he was, and that's
Yeah.
what we use that in other parts of our life.
Hmm.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like the same, like we always there's people that sell things. They say they could sell anything. It doesn't matter, like you said, like, and I guess that's sort of the same with Marcus, but he was actually transforming these businesses. But if you think about it, you know how they used to have in sales interviews, like, oh, sell me this pen. It doesn't matter if it's a
Hmm.
pen, a car, a, I don't know,
A
candle,
vacuum
whatever.
cleaner,
Yeah,
an
like,
insurance policy. You know what
exactly.
I
You can
mean?
sell something
There's a
within
sales
this
process.
process. Here's how you do it. Customer service to me is like that. It doesn't matter what type of customer service. When I used to do collections, that was a form of customer service, whether I'm talking about, anything, food, delivery, whatever products I'm doing customer service for. It doesn't matter who I'm talking to. I could be talking to, pumping moms. And
Right.
it's the same process. You have to listen to the person. You have to, first of all, realize that it's not personal to you. They're upset
Hmm.
about the situation. You have to absorb what they're saying, actively listen, then get into their shoes, empathize with them, and then let them know exactly that you're going to help and how you're going to help. And it
Yep.
will work for whatever customer service you're doing. So, like, it's the same process with our mind. It helps when you have a process you follow when you turn on your computer. You have to
Yeah.
turn on the computer, you have to then click on the Google window, and then you have to type something in the browser. When you start to get these thoughts, you just made me have this revelation that there has to be a process. I can't do it differently each time. I have to
Yeah.
know if negativity is coming in, if worry is starting to come in about the past, about the future, about, anything.
Anything.
You have to have a process to, first of all, identify, okay, this is my pain body trying to get
Wait a
in.
minute. Hold
Nothing
up.
is
Back up,
happening
Jen.
right
Not
now.
to cut you off. I think we just let people witness how we say the same thing. We literally in that moment connected on that word anything. You could have said anything there, but you said
Wait,
anything, and I said it with you.
I have
Like,
to tell them the story about the dogs. Remember outside? So we were
yeah.
trying to come up with what these weird words sometimes that we say at the same time. So yesterday we're pulling out of the driveway, or 2 days ago, and our neighbor's dog was walking the dog, and then another little dog was being walked by another neighbor, and the dog was smelling the butt of the dog, right? And I'm like, oh, look, they're getting to know each other. So we go around the corner, both of us at the same time. We're like, butt smeller, or something like that, right? Like,
Ass sniffer, I think we
yes,
said.
right. And we both said it at the same time in a
We
weird
were like,
voice
we were
like
both
that.
sitting there, and all of a sudden we were like, ass sniffer.
Right? I was like, "Did
What?
you just say that?" We were, like, both joking about the same thing. It was crazy, and I was like,
Like
"This
we
is
were
what we were trying
literally sharing that thought.
to describe."
It's like, why couldn't they have been flies on the wall just then to
It
witness that?
funny, but now I remembered finally to tell it. So let's
Yeah.
go through that process real quick, how we just did for the other stuff. Okay, so I'm getting a worrisome thought, or I want to do this OCD thing. All right,
Hmm.
so first of all, I'm going to identify that it is just a thought. Okay,
You're
and
going to
then,
identify that it's just a thought that you're having. It's nothing that's concrete or real that's happening. And then you kind of want to see it's different. with OCD, because then you want to think, well, why am I doing that? You don't want to get into a whole depth with it. You just want to identify,
Right.
hey, I have checked out. I am not in the moment. I am in my head spinning right now, thinking if I do this, that's going to happen. I need to get in the moment right now and just
Mhm.
progress with what I'm doing. I realize why I'm doing it because I want things to be better. Okay, well, the only way things can be better is if I stay in the moment.
And nothing is
Okay?
wrong usually right this minute anyway.
Yeah,
So
you
that's the
know?
other part to identify, like, okay, nothing's going on. If you're thinking about, oh, I hope, everybody's okay,
Yeah.
or I hope everybody's going to be okay, or I hope this
Everybody
goes
is
well in the
okay. It's like,
future. I
am I
hope the
did I
holiday
just get
goes
a phone
okay.
call that something was wrong? No, I didn't. Is a phone call coming? I have no way of knowing that. So I'm just going to go with the status quo and assume that everything is okay.
Right.
Because I didn't get a call saying, hey, can you come
Nothing's
on down
okay.
here?
And if
Such
it
and such
is,
is in the hospital. No, that didn't happen.
right,
So I'm assuming everything's all right. So let's move forward with this moment, because the more moments that I have where I'm okay and I'm just progressing forward, that's going to continue. That in itself is going to continue to make everything all right. I can't keep going back to these thoughts of I'm saving this or I'm doing that, because that's indicating that something's wrong.
right,
And I don't want to create something being wrong by constantly focusing on that. Nothing's
right.
wrong. Everything is right. Let's focus on that. That's the way to make things right, not backing up 10 times. Everything is fine. And focus on everything being fine, not fixing things that aren't broken, because you're going to
Right.
break them.
Yeah,
Okay? So keep moving forward, realizing everything is okay because I say it is. If I say it is and I think it is, then guess what?
it
It
is.
is.
It's like I used to ruin my pictures. I would draw this really nice drawing. I used to love to draw as a kid. And I'd be like, you know what? I think I want to add a little bit more to it, a little bit more to it. And I'd try to paint it.
Yeah.
And it was almost like I was overthinking my picture. And I'd end up messing it up by trying to paint it because I couldn't paint worth anything. So I should just leave it alone, stop overthinking. Like, okay, everything's fine. The photo is fine
You had
right
that
now.
thought process as a kid, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
And we
feel like
lose
it's,
it. It gets clouded over time because of so many things that have gotten. Remember the hammer? It keeps piling
pull
shit
that.
on top of that basic knowing, that basic thought. We have to
Yeah.
strip all of that away and get back to being who we were as kids, curious about the world, living the moments that we're in and enjoying them and seeing the world for what, oh, wow, look at this. Oh, okay, wow. I've looked at that poster. That poster has stayed on my wall for the past 3 years, and I didn't notice how cool that yellow was. It's because I wasn't looking at it. It's
Yeah,
because I wasn't in the moment enjoying the artwork that's in front of my freaking face, you know?
exactly.
So don't miss your life. Don't let it go. That movie Jack Nicholson was in, Something's Gotta Give, with Diane Keaton. They're walking on the beach. And she says, it goes by fast, doesn't it? He says, like the blink of an eye. Well, Jesus, I was in my 30s when I first saw that. And I remember feeling bad because she couldn't get a date because she was over 50. Well, I'm fucking over 50.
Mhm.
Just like that. And
Yeah.
here's the thing. She said, wow, wait a minute. Pink Floyd said it. Before you know it, 10 years have gotten behind you. No one told you when to run. You missed the starting gun. Stop missing the starting gun. Starting gun's right here and now. And it doesn't matter about going vegan at 54. Hey, listen, start anyway. Are you in the ground yet? No, you're not. So if you're above ground and you have your wits about you, because there are some people that are laying in nursing homes at our age, okay, that are already written off.
Yeah,
And
like
there's
we're in good,
yeah,
we're in a
there's
good
70-year-old
place right
people who are
now.
kicking dude. Gen X has found the secret to like youthful because there are so many 70-year-olds that are kicking so much ass right now that it's not. Look at a lot of the models from back in the day that are our Christy Brinkley's and the Cindy Crawfords. They look fantastic, man. And it's like they look just as good as some of these young 20 somethings out here. And it's because of how you think. You are in control of that. You want to look this way, then look that way. You want to feel this way, then damn it, feel that way. Don't let somebody else dictate how you feel. Don't let a situation dictate how you feel because you're not that. You're you. And you get to be you every day and you enjoy being you. Enjoy
Mhm.
being you. Because there's nobody else like you. They say there is, but there isn't. It's like a snowflake. There's never two snowflakes that are exactly alike. There's some similarities, a lot,
Mhm.
but even the property brothers, you and I can tell them apart like nothing now. But somebody who's not really used to looking at them, oh wow, they look exactly alike. No, they don't. Actually, they
Yeah.
look nothing alike.
Like you were just talking about the
They
lady
actually
talking
look
about all
nothing alike.
Capricorns, you know? There might be
Yeah.
similarities, but not every Capricorn is like that
Dude,
crazy
the
when you met.
property brothers actually look nothing alike.
Right,
They
and
are
any
very
twins
similar.
that I've ever known are the same way. I've only known a couple of sets of twins personally, like from school,
Yeah.
um, and people on TV, but if you really look at them, like Darcy and Stacy,
Yeah.
they look nothing alike, right? I mean, I don't
Well,
know what's
now.
going on with them now, but it's like, that's
Woo.
like Property Brothers, same way,
Yeah.
anybody that are I'm trying to think of who are other famous twins. Do we know any?
Ashley and Kate Olsen, there's differences between
Yeah,
them.
definitely.
You know what I mean? So,
Yep, the
yeah.
Olsen twins. And people that I've known in school, like they are twins when you first seen them on the first day of school, they looked exactly alike, and then after you know them, it's like I could know that's not Brian,
You get
that's
to
not
know
whatever.
their person.
Yeah, you get to know their
This is a
personality
shell.
becomes part of that. It's a shell,
Yep.
exactly.
Is a shell. And because their personalities are so distinctly different, you can tell Jonathan and Drew apart simply by like it's like, oh, okay, there's
You
no
hear
way
their
I
voice.
yeah, there's no way I would ever get them confused, man. It's not just even if they were wearing the
Dressed
exact same
alike,
thing,
right?
so it's like, there's no way. So a person is who they are, and the cool thing is and going
And
back to the
embrace the good things that make you you. Embrace the things that
You
you're
have
working on,
to.
because
You
your
when no one else
will
does, you
help
should be
someone
doing
else.
that. Yeah. When no one else is embracing the good that you're doing, you embrace it.
Mhm.
And eventually that'll make other people embrace it. You don't need other people to embrace you and tell you you're wonderful. You know you're special. You know you're wonderful. And if you know it, then other people will know it just by happenstance because you're going to
Yeah.
exude that because you feel that way from the inside out. It's nothing wrong with knowing you're the shit. you know you don't have to be narcissistic and tell the whole world you're the shit, but there's nothing wrong with
But just
knowing you're the shit.
prove it in your actions, that's the
Exactly.
thing. And your
Do what
actions,
makes you the
what
shit so that
your
other
intent
people can see it.
is what you do, and you're doing that in the now. So if you do that each second, then that's going to add up to who you really
Absolutely.
are, and who
Absolutely.
you want me to tell you who you are. Remember that?
Anger management, that's
I
funny.
love anger management. Oh man, this has been so fun. Another therapy
Yeah, it's been
session where I
cool.
feel like I can take on the world.
It's been cool. Well, let's take on the world.
Let's do it. Thanks for
Let's
the
do it.
helpful
Thank
morsels
you.
that I can insert in there.
Thanks for anybody who was listening. Ro, thank you, baby girl, for coming in and hanging out with us today. I love you so much, and I have missed you, and I'm glad you're back, and I'm glad you're healing. And I will definitely be hitting you up on IG and talking to you real soon. She and I are colon cancer sisters, so we have dubbed ourselves that. So yeah,
So I'm glad to see you're here, and that hopefully you'll be able to start chiming in soon. We know you'll get that voice back soon. Even if
yeah.
not, it was really good to have you in the comments. You keep healing and keep eating those good vegan foods. Keep eating those
shout out to
immunity boosters.
Shout out to all everybody in our J crew, and
Yes,
I literally
Jesse, I
mean
know you're
J crew:
listening in.
Janetta, Jess,
Jamie,
Jamie, all of them. Jen,
Becca,
yeah,
Jen, Janetta. Did we say that? There's so many
yes,
J's.
yeah. And
It
shout
is
out
the
to
J
you,
crew.
my wonderful baby, JJ. Thank you so much for always being a blessing and coming on this stream, and for being a blessing in my life, Jen. Really,
Oh,
thank
thank
you.
you. You are such a blessing in mine. You are just, I even said that earlier. You're just the most amazing person to be with, live with. And so you are just the
God, people can be around us and just gag and throw up because we are like this all the time, on or off camera.
thank
That's why we can be so positive because we are overflowing with it between each other. So that's why it makes us strong in taking on these things in the world because two of us, Wow. Yeah, yeah, man. The power of two, man. You will get healed. You will get healed because we're gonna heal that
Heal
ass.
mind,
Okay.
body, and spirit, right?
Yeah, you will be at peace. You know. But I'm gonna go ahead and hit that
Yeah.
outro. I love
Um,
you. I know you got to go back in there, and I'm gonna go ahead and do some editing and whatever I got to do over here.
oh yeah,
And
Tuesday takeover. Don't
the
forget.
Tuesday takeover will be tonight at
Meet up.
7:30. Yep, I'm gonna put it up, set it up for 7:30, and we're gonna come on and talk about Michael and Natalie. What's going on with them? We're gonna talk about Tiffany and Ronald. We're gonna talk about Debbie and Tony. We're gonna talk about all things 90 days. So join me and Jen and whoever else decides that they want to come and hang out. And we're gonna talk about 90 Day Fiance tonight, and that's gonna be at 7:30. So everybody have a good rest of your afternoon, and I will catch you guys on the flip side.
Thank you.